So the idea came 5 years ago when I, with my two co-founders, were looking at the green wave of regulatory reform sweeping around the world for cannabis. And we had a shared belief between the three of us and a desire to create a business that could help millions of people. So from there, we set up a company in 2018 and we applied for hemp licenses in the UK. We've been farming hemp in the UK for 3 years now. And then alongside that, we've been working very hard for a very long period of time to secure a medicinal cannabis license. And 2 weeks ago, we received the great news that we were the first applicant approved on the island. Lived on the island for 8 years now. My children born here. I've got a strong connection to the island and some knowledge about it as well. So I know that one of our key advantages here is the ability to be legislatively agile and to set up niche opportunities. I also know that there's overwhelming public support here on the island for cannabis regulatory reform. There was a public consultation in 2019, which I think was the second highest response of any public consultation ever on the island. And of those respondents, I think it was 99% in favour of some form of cannabis regulatory reform. So there really is a public will for this to happen. And I know from talking to ministers and reading the manifestos of all of the elected ministers that it's something that the vast majority of them are in favour of too. So you've got the public support, you've got the political support, you've got the capability to create a regulatory environment for it. I think they've appointed an excellent regulator in the GSC. They are incredibly robust and rigorous, but they're also transparent and pragmatic, which as a licensed business is exactly what you want. You know, if your entire business viability depends on having a license, you need to know where you stand. And I think there's other things as well, like security. The Isle of Man is the safest place in the British Isles, lowest crime rate. And that makes the challenge of security easier here than it would be in other places such as the UK or North America, where businesses are spending a huge amount of money on security because they have to. And I think if you were to take a blank sheet of paper and write down what are the things that are important to a cannabis company, I think the Isle of Man has ticked quite a few of those boxes. Creating some of the highest quality cannabis products in the world, bringing them to market, improving accessibility to enable the people that need them to get them more easily than they can at the moment, and by selling them at a fair price. And really, that is, in its most simplistic terms, what we're going to do. I think when talking about this, it's important to acknowledge the lived experience of millions of people over thousands of years that have been using cannabis as a medicine. And we know from archaeological digs that humans and cannabis have a relationship that goes back 10,000 years at least. It's been found with the ice mummies in Siberia. It's been found written in the oldest pharmacopoeia in the world from ancient China, being used for a range of medicinal conditions and purposes 3,000 years ago. Same in India with Ayurvedic medicine. It's been used in a spiritual context. And in this context, perhaps the last 50 years where it's been illegal is actually the anomaly. But that's now changing, and the emerging modern research studies are supporting the knowledge that millions of people have had for all that time, that cannabis works. Cannabis has the capability to improve the quality of life for lots of people. Not for everybody, not for every condition, but it does work, and there is a place for it in the modern medicinal toolkit. And we want to play a role in that. So firstly, foreign direct investment. We are raising money from investors that are largely sitting outside of the Isle of Man. Those funds flow into an Isle of Man business. We'll then be using that money to spend on local contractors, so groundworks, construction, plumbing, electrical, architects, all that sort of thing. We're also hiring people, so there'll be a mix of people hired locally and people moving to the island if we can't find the right experience on the island. Those people will be paid a salary, they'll pay income tax, they'll go and spend money in local shops, bars, restaurants. All the multiplier effect will trickle down, and then we'll be a trading business. There'll be VAT registered as well. So there'll be significant contribution to the Isle of Man economy in multiple different ways from our business, as there is with many other businesses here. And we'll be another piece of that puzzle of that rich tapestry that is the Isle of Man economy. And over and above that, we feel strongly that we should, community is really important to us. Community is a word that you'll hear from us a lot, and there are different communities associated with our business, but one of them is the local community. And I have been engaging with the local commissioners of the areas where we've been seeking to build a cannabis facility for more than 2 years now. Technology is at the heart of our business as well, and with cannabis, the provenance and supply chain security is really important for lots of reasons. So, in any regulated cannabis environment, there's a requirement to have a high degree of supply chain control and track every step of the way to be able to account for all of the cannabis that's been produced. And so, in order to tackle that, we decided that the existing tech that was out there wasn't quite fit for our purposes, and we built a blockchain-based tool called the GrowChain. And that GrowChain technology can take cultivation data and processing data in incredible levels of detail, becomes a permanent record on the blockchain database, and enables us to give that security to the regulator. And it also enables us to have dynamic production information, so we can see what's working, which strains respond better to which conditions, because we have different climate control in different cultivation rooms, and it enable us to optimize production, not just to maximize yield, but to optimize expression of certain cannabinoids and certain chemicals within the plant itself. And that is potentially quite powerful. And then thirdly, the other stakeholder group here is actually the patients that will be using the cannabis products that we're creating, and us being able to deliver a richer level of detail and information about the products that they're buying or being prescribed also has value, and enables us to create a human connection between the patients and the producers of that medicine.